2025 has already begun with a bang. Donald Trump has returned to the White House, and upon his return, has signed a flurry of executive orders. He has hit the ground running. But one area that has not yet been discussed is Social Security. Will Donald Trump sort out the long shortfall problem with Social Security, and will he be able to provide recipients with a higher benefit? All of this remains to be seen, and we're going to break down exactly what's going on, what the Trump administration are thinking with regards to Social Security, and what changes we could see going into 2025. So we'll take a look at all of these, but before we do, it takes just 2 seconds. If you enjoy this video and you enjoy these kind of updates, please do consider hitting the like and subscribe button down below. And without further ado, let's get into it. So Donald Trump is now starting to take a look over Social Security. And one thing I want to address before we go any further, people who think Donald Trump is looking at Social Security because he's looking at making a cut to it, no, that's not the case. Donald Trump has already gone on the record to say he will not cut Social Security. So your benefits, for now, are safe. But that's not to say there won't be changes. Donald Trump has promised a lot of things with Social Security, and one thing in particular was the prospect of eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits moving forward. Take a look at this. Trump promises no taxes on Social Security benefits, but it's too soon to plan on that change. And you can see down here, even with a Republican majority in Congress, that proposal could face hurdles. Experts say it's still far too early to factor that change into the financial plans. Now, on the face of it, it sounds great. You know, if you can eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, then the recipient can receive more bang for their buck. It sounds good. But, and here's where things get very interesting, Donald Trump has also vowed to carry out mass deportations of illegal immigrants in America. Why am I bringing this up? Well, take a look at this. Trump's mass deportation plan could drain more than $20 billion a year from Social Security. And the reasoning behind this is because Trump's vow to carry out a mass deportation of people living in the United States illegally could make matters more difficult, because the Social Security fund is largely financed by payroll taxes from American workers. The Social Security Administration told Business Insider that deportations could cut annual cash flows by $20 billion, potentially reducing retirees' benefits over time. And this is why many experts are saying there is a big problem, because it's widely expected that over 1 million people will be deported from the United States over time. And of those 1 million people, whether they are here illegally or legally, it doesn't really matter whether they have a false Social Security number or they're working under a fake name, fake alias, doesn't matter, because the employer will still be collecting Social Security taxes as they work. Social Security is just like a pay-as-you-go system, so the illegals will not be able to claim it for themselves, but they are still contributing to the system because the employer is collecting the taxes off their paycheck. Now, if Trump follows through with the plan to deport over 1 million illegal immigrants, at least, then all of a sudden, and this is what the experts are alluding to, you are essentially losing 1 million sources of Social Security income. So it's safe to assume, and this is what the first article was alluding to, with the Republicans saying it's going to be difficult, this is not going to be a short-term fix. This is something that's going to need to be sorted out in the long term. But that's why Trump is signing executive orders for other things. He's signing executive orders for things he can action now, for things he can sort out now. Social Security is not something you can sort out in a day, a week, a month, maybe even a year. It's going to take more of his term in office to actually action big changes on Social Security. But another thing we need to look at here is the impact of inflation and the cost of living in the United States. Because put simply, if the prices are going up and Social Security does not increase with it, then more people who are living off of the Social Security benefits will struggle. They'll struggle to afford basic things like groceries, water, gasoline, all that kind of stuff. Have a look at this. Inflation speeds up, ends 2024 at 2.9%. But Social Security benefits increased by 2.5%, And retirees still feel like that's not enough. And all retirees are reporting to face a higher cost of living. This means there is a real danger of prices rising faster and higher than Social Security's cost of living adjustments. So, there are two possible ways to solve this. The first being lower the prices. But here's the thing. Donald Trump went on the record to say that lowering the prices would be extremely difficult. Okay, if it's difficult or it can't be done, then the next thing to do would be looking at increasing the Social Security benefits to make life affordable with the new prices of everything in the US economy. And in fairness, this is something we have already seen with the Biden administration when they passed something called the Social Security Fairness Act, which enhanced retirement benefits for millions of Americans. Take a look at this. President Biden signed legislation expanding Social Security benefits for millions of retired Americans, including firefighters, police officers, and teachers. Those beneficiaries will also receive a lump sum in the thousands of dollars to make up for the shortfall in benefits they should have received in 2024. Now, Trump could very well take inspiration from that model because it means more money in Americans' back pockets, especially with the public service workers because they're now getting paid for the work that they do. But there is an alternative point of view here as well. We'll have a look at this because many critics are calling this a $196 billion giveaway. And if we scroll down to the bottom here, the Congressional Budget Office estimates the repeal will cost taxpayers $196 billion over the next decade, plus an additional $37 billion in interest payments on top, which means the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out by 2033, a date which could be moved up 6 months without further reform to the program. Now, if Trump is serious about wanting to increase the Social Security benefits, that 2033 date could move up much sooner and much quicker. This depends entirely on which direction the Trump administration want to go in, but I highly doubt they want the trust fund to run out. But many people are now starting to be concerned that Social Security may receive less money this year as opposed to previous years gone by. But why? Put simply, due to weather-related incidents across America. For example, we've seen hurricanes on the East Coast over the last year. Right now, we have the fires in California causing devastation and destruction everywhere it goes. As a result of that, many people are now concerned that there may not be enough money going into Social Security in order for retirees to take out, whether it was from the hurricanes in the Tampa Bay, Florida area or from the fires in the LA, California area. It's not just homes that are being destroyed, it's the livelihoods. Businesses are being destroyed, shops are being destroyed, churches are being destroyed, religious institutions are being destroyed. So put simply, people are not going to work because of these natural disasters. As a result of that, remember, Social Security is a pay-as-you-go tax. If people cannot go to work, if people cannot work, then Social Security cannot be taxable from the income. As a result of that, less money is going into the Social Security program, less money goes out to the retirees on the Social Security benefits. And Trump, to an extent, has already started to address this. He understands to get people paying into Social Security, you need to get people back into work. Now, that means you need companies to invest in the United States, whether they're domestic or international. This can be anything from a startup to an expansion to a foreign company investing in the US economy, but they create the jobs. If more people end up in work, then you can get more people paying into Social Security. Furthermore, if illegal immigrants are removed from the United States, that frees up more resources for the American people in terms of housing, in terms of the social programs. More money can be invested in them. As a result of that, that can make the situation and the financial situation much less burdensome for the US economy, the Trust Fund for Social Security, and the American people. That is the situation as of today. And granted, it is still very early days of the Trump administration. They've been in power for just over a week. However, Social Security, as of right now, is a ticking time bomb. There's less than 9 years until the estimated date of insolvency. Trump and his team will need to get a lot of things right, and it's yet to be seen exactly what steps they will take. But we're starting to see a plan being put in place, but of course, plans can change very, very quickly, especially in the world of politics. So, we'll be keeping a close eye on this because, as mentioned before, the American economy and the American people are up against the clock. If Social Security becomes insolvent, that can make for a very terrifying prospect for America moving forward. But let's see how the Trump administration deal with this going forward into 2025. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the situation. What do you think of Social Security and this supposed risk date of insolvency? Do you think major changes are needed? Do you think the current program that Biden put in place with the Social Security Fairness Act works quite well? Let me know your thoughts down below. All opinions are welcome. As usual, I'll be returning soon in the coming weeks, but until then, see you all later and take care.